tryna take it down, place for you just scoring minds, best of bar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in of February 10th, 2020, and there is one thing that can make this stock market go crazy tomorrow. I know I've been saying this for the last 2 weeks, given the nature of the news, but this right here is going to be very pivotal. It has to do with the virus, it has to do with the economy, it has to do with us and every other nation, but pretty much now tomorrow, we should see some parts of the Chinese economy return to service. So this is an important date. There's important deadlines that are happening tomorrow. Unfortunately, China futures are still going to be closed. So what's going to happen is we're going to see how our futures open here in a few hours, probably by the time you're watching this video. Then we will see how China trades throughout the night, and then where we are in the morning, how global markets react, where we are pre-market, and then where we are after the European closes tomorrow. Oh man, there is a lot. And then there is also earnings. This is kind of the earnings pregame to one of the biggest weeks. We're going to talk about that. So I have a lot of stuff I want to go over with you guys. I have the main things to watch for tomorrow. If you didn't check out the weekend video, I would strongly recommend you do. It could give you a little bit more context, but there is what we have as the main things we need to be watching tomorrow. I have plays for you, the plays we made on Friday. I made some plays with like 2 minutes left, how I'm going about structuring myself for this week, and then the earnings for the next week, and then as well as some of the other plays we're already in. So let us not delay. Let's get right into it. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you drop your thumbs up on the video. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. We are live, baby. It's free 99. It costs you nothing. If anything happens, breaking news, how do you monitor this situation live? Where do you get stock news? Where do you learn all this? Whatever, anything, it's there. All we ask is that you're positive and respectful. So let's get our head in the game. Let's go for week number 4 of 4 weeks in a row, 1,000%ers. So there's opportunities, there's news, we need interpretation, there's a lot of stuff, and I am excited. So I hope you are too. But better see you there. And don't forget the most important thing you need to do. Post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at. You got any plays, comments, any earnings plays, any updates, any put plays, any bounce plays? Put them there below. We got to source that information, baby. And if you don't know, we got another week. We did it last week every Monday. So, well, right now, you need to post a specific option play. We have our account made specifically for the comment section. So we're doing this as an experiment. Post a play below. I'm going to pick one randomly from the comment generator tomorrow during market hours, and we're going to throw a play on it. So the first play did not work. Our second play is actually up. So post one below so we could select it. Let's get this experiment rolling, baby. Okay. We got that out the way. So let us get right into it. Here are the keys. The main thing to watch tomorrow is going to be the global market performance and how it compares to China. We want to see how all the other countries do, and then do we see what we started to see at the beginning of the week where China's down and everybody goes up, but then towards the end of the week we started seeing China go down and everybody else going down. We want to see if that persists, and that is going to be the most important thing. Well, one of them, but I guess the most important thing as far as even deadlines go, this is why February 10th tomorrow is so important. This is the end of the extended Lunar New Year. So now they've said this on Friday. They've been reiterating it. This is even now the first test to see how the containment plan is going to operate. They're saying that people are going back to work tomorrow. They're going to open up factories. Apple is going to try to open up Foxconn factory. How this plays out is going to be important. They said they're going to send people out in bunches. So it's going to be little groups at a time. They're going to allow people to start working from home. So they're trying to get things started. So now how this plays out, and now the time for this to digest, and then if it leads to more stuff, is going to be very, very important. That's why this is going to be important for tomorrow. We're going to see if they start letting the futures markets in China start to trade normally. We're going to see what they start doing with the plans. And now, again, anybody who wanted to sell stocks last week, they're going to be able to execute those stock orders by tomorrow. So we want to see how the Shanghai Composite holds up. That's as far as dates are. But now also here, watch the 22nd and 25th coming into now next week. And now we're going to have the week of the 17th is going to be the big earnings week. But even then, this is going to be the next wave of incubation period and time from the first deaths. It wasn't really until about a week or two ago we saw the first death outside of China that was reported. So now we need to see how those numbers came up. And I saw something really, really important. Watch how Japan and Singapore play out with the virus. It's actually the same exact thing in economics. We tend to look at Japan, and you guys have probably heard that term, the Japanification of the economy, because how Japan operates their monetary system, the Fed looks at it to compare it to the United States, and we see how our economy could go. It's going to be the same thing here now, even with the virus. People are watching countries like Japan and Singapore and seeing how they react to the virus, because that will kind of be able to give us an estimate of how this virus is going to spread in places outside of China, which will be important. But again, now too, we want to see now more dates with, again, the disease has now killed more than SARS, but compare this now with how this affects factories opening and closing and what this does for the industry. So this is the start of an important week to start to see. So now we need to just monitor the digestion period here. So that is going to be very important. But now at the same time, you are going to get the pregame to the biggest earnings week. I thought it was going to be this week, but it's actually next week. This week, we're going to get maybe 50 to 100 companies a day, but it's next week starting on the 17th that you're going to start getting the 200 companies a day. So really, even what I'm expecting here is that markets are going to respond to the earnings until there's big enough news to stop them. So again, you're going to see the markets react back and forth with how China does, how other countries work. If there's a big earnings or two here, or it leads to even some industries moving, the markets are going to respond to that until, equal and opposite reactions as we see something with the coronavirus or how it relates to the economy. But even then, in the midst of this, watch the bonds, watch HYG, TLT, and now especially TLT, because we even had the Fed not too long ago, but the Fed came out, we had the State of the Union last week, and then you had the state of the economy come from the Fed, but they're talking about this virus now as a threat. But what you need to watch is how this is going to change investor outlook towards rate cuts, because then that's going to start that whole fiasco with investors looking towards the Fed to see what's going to happen, and depending on what the Fed says, that is going to affect how they price in. The Fed is usually going to make a policy error. They're going to be slow and then it'll get corrected. So keep that in mind. But beyond just the bonds in general, watch out for oil. Whatever happens with oil, if OPEC makes any drastic changes or if the price of oil moves drastically, that is going to give us some insight into how well these factory openings and people going back to work really is. So watch that. As far as the strategy, man, these are all the plays we've even done. I'm going to go over some plays, but scale small. I'm going both short term and Marches. I'm going after, we got a lot of February 14th last week. I'm going to get maybe some for February 21st, but then I'm also going to go for March. And what I mean by scaling small, on some of these early positions with earnings, I put a couple $100 down on puts and this and that. I want to start taking advantage of different time frames. Throw $20 here, $20 there. If there is, again, the fact that we're getting options shooting up 1,000%, then coming down, then shooting back up, and then coming down, the volatility's there. We really, again, like I'm saying, we've returned back to a normal run-up. But if we get one more event and we see a big drop or anything, then this is going to start getting us in a big volatility zone. So that's why having some of these small plays will be good to scale in. Don't want to expose yourself, because then the minute there is a clear-cut direction, the opposite side is going to get burned on the options. So be careful, get endurance, balance the budget. But if anything, I'm going to be getting a little bit on the short terms. I'm going for a lot of March plays is what we have, but I'm going to start looking for some longer term, even leap type put plays, because those could be prone to some of the biggest mispricing here, depending on how this next week or two plays out, especially with the virus concerns and all that, because you're even seeing how it's affecting certain option prices and even how some of people's views towards this and how it's affecting the economy. We're at all-time highs. This is changing a lot of things, and it's creating a lot of opportunity. So that's the first thing. But I guess that's pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I have 3 different plays I want to focus on. These are the ones I made at close and that I really like. I forgot I did make it a UVXY play, but this is the one I really, really like. Again, we've just been seeing it. You've seen it move down a lot. It's jumped up, and you could even see this reflected through a lot of different companies, like even UAL, a lot of stuff that got, even the Carnival Cruise Lines, and watch them with what's going on with all those ships. But you're seeing how they've had a reaction, but you're seeing bookings doing it the most, and they're kind of up at kind of an equilibrium zone where they had earnings. I like this one for earnings. Again, I messed up, and I got another play that didn't cover earnings. Remember, we bought another $60 play. That one lost a lot of its value, so I put another $60 in here. I'm at like $120 total. The last play I'm going to do on here is going to make sure we get past February 21st, because that'll cover earnings. But I did this one at close. I got a booking February 21st, $17.85 put, and then I sold the $17.80 put, $500 max reward, $64. It's not bad, but why I like this play, $17.85 is within like, $100 from here, or like $115 from here. But that's within one standard deviation or just outside. So the fact I got, and again, it's playing the pre-earnings run-up. So if this makes a move coming into earnings, that'll be good, at least on the downside. But the fact that you could get that close to being in the money with earnings on a stock like Booking that moves like that for under $100, I really, really like that. So I'm going to be keeping my eye out for Booking, and I think they have, exposure to a lot of the risks here. So that's the first one. But the next play I like is Microsoft, and I grabbed these on puts, and I was even saying this on calls even yesterday, and that's something I am going to keep my eyes out for too. Really playing both sides of this. Again, and especially here, and I was thinking about it, we've been getting the down Friday, down Mondays. We've even saw a Hindenburg on January 28th. Those are both calling for either a top or a bottom. So whatever happens from here, there's going to be a big move up or down. It doesn't have to be just one way. So take advantage of option pricing and this environment and what it means for companies. So I've been liking Microsoft leading on the way up and how it's been breaking out. But that same thing that makes it so strong on the upside is why I even like it for the downside. And comparing this even to like Apple on Friday, Apple was down like 1 or 2%. Microsoft literally closed flat. So you could see the market was kind of selling off a little bit, closed down 0.5%. They went down, so I decided to go for puts. I like 2 sets of them here. I grabbed these Microsoft March 20th, and then I want to look for, again, like I said, scaling between March and then February. I'm going to look at both of these. I like these ones because they're closer to the money but less time, but I like the Marches for 20 cents. So I grabbed, again, just throwing $20 here, $20 there. I like the March 20th 145 puts at 20 cents. I think they're at like 20 to 22 now. And then I noted these down on Friday. These were going for 25. And you'll even notice the Microsoft puts, we called these out during the day on Friday. Even though the stock was going up, the puts stayed expensive. So these puts ended up dropping. I noted them at 25 cents. Now they're at like 22 or 23. So I like both of these plays. Going to be watching the Microsoft puts. I haven't even set up a calls position yet too. So this is pretty much, I'm looking for a strangle on both sides, but I am setting up the puts here now as the stock is up and considering how it's been lagging behind. That, and then another $15 on a UVXY for next week. That's a February 14th. I spent $15 or $30 total, but hopefully you could see here what I'm doing. $20 here, $30 here. If you're getting them in the right spot, it's giving me put side protection where I don't have to go bet hard on it. If there is downside, we could ghetto spread those, we could flip those. But now also, I do want to take advantage of some of these drops. Even, we saw Booking drop as well on the downside. That could even be good for even the upside as well too. So be nimble here, be ready to respond, but the key is going to be controlling the budgets. I think going smalls and going both ways is going to be very, very beneficial. So that is going to be my strategy playing out. As far as everything else, those are the only plays we made on Friday. I'm going to be watching all those. Watch UVXY. We still have that Boeing one, and again, that's one that we have already to the upside. We have those 345s or 342s, I believe. Or no, the 350s. That's what we have there. Again, they had that news on Friday and the other day before over the FAA clearing them, so that could be good. Watch Boeing in general. Watch Guild. That's been going up. There was another drug I forgot that did good in reference to some of this coronavirus stuff, but the fact that it's keeping things up, I like it in general. I mean, I think Guild is going to get an impact from this, even if it dies down. I don't think it's going to necessarily kill Guild, so I'm going to just keep my eyes on that one in general. I'm going to watch UAL. I want to see the price of our puts. I believe they're down now, but this is now getting that double dip pattern here where we've had the first drop, it's bouncing up again, and that's what I was kind of referencing with Booking. If there is going to be a move, it could happen this week or next week. Don't, again, these stocks are more stable than like a Beyond Meat or a momentum play, so the double dip and how you're going to see it react is going to take a little bit more time, and that is what we're paying attention to this week, is seeing the time it takes for all of this stuff to digest and have this ripple effect. But I'm also going to watch Carnival. I think the premiums are going to be expensive like the UALs when we bought those, but we'll keep our eye from there. Watch Tesla. Maybe that could be a little bit more fun here now that it's having a 10 weeks in a row of going up, but it's kind of leveling out. This could be another double dip, or again, if the contracts level out, I think once people start expecting there's no opportunity, I think there might be some opportunity, so I'm going to keep my eye out for them. And then I'm also going to watch Roku because Shopify has earnings. So again, Shopify will be important with how they report again, and they've been just holding up amazingly. I think they might be a good rotation one, but also watch Roku. We got those puts in there up. I want to see how those prices are. I believe they're kind of at break even now, but remember, those got a big premium, but how Roku and some of these growth stocks move is going to be very important. So Shopify has earnings this week. Watch them. Another play I want to set up for both ways, as I'm saying, take a look at the top and bottom, but Caterpillar, you can see kind of how it's diverged from the S&P over the years, and it's usually kind of ended up linking up there. Let me get a 10-year chart. So you can kind of see they've usually caught up, so Caterpillar, it's either going to really catch up here with the SPY, just like Amazon, or the SPY is going to catch up with Caterpillar. I really am confident in that. So not that SPY's, that one or the other is going to happen. So watch out for Caterpillar. Caterpillar. They usually have some premiums, but this could be, interesting. And now, depending on how the digestion occurs this week, it's either going to happen this week or next week. You're going to have two amazing weeks here, or the week that it does occur, McDonald's and Home Depot. How these stocks move here kind of at these tops, either setting up for their next breakout or setting into a new range, either going to be great for the cheap premiums or going to be great for the credit spread. So watch both of those. And then finally, don't forget about BIB. That's in a money zone. It's still up. We still have those plays. They had that news. I like where they're going, and keep your eyes out for any of these biotechs related to the coronavirus and just how things are kind of driving things along. But you're seeing how biotechs can respond and move with the market. Very unique and really irregardless of anything that happens with the market. So keep an eye out for that. So there's that. And then finally, watch Abivine and Snapchat, our two favorite long terms. They actually did good, and they're kind of getting back here. So we have some money we want to deploy. If anything, now Snapchat's cheaper in Abivine. But I mean, we already made our first purchases. We waited a little bit on Abivine, so I'm going to wait. But why I'm bringing up Abivine, they're at a crucial spot. I think they could really, really do good. But watch Allergen. Allergen is still going to report tomorrow. Remember, they have that to complete the merger. So however Allergen does tomorrow could have an effect on Abivine. But now again, you're seeing how Allergen's playing out. This could also have, they're going to go back and forth, or maybe even Allergen's lagging. So watch out for that. I'm going to like that. And then finally, AMAT. This is another one of those earnings I'd watch. So again, I'm going to keep my eye out for Shopify earnings this week, and I will give you guys an update on any of the earnings. But watch out for AMAT. If this week is that pregame to some of the big earnings, you're going to find a lot of non-name brand companies or stuff that, you might not even know about, but they're really big companies and they make a lot of money. They're going to be important. So watch out for AMAT. I'm going to keep my eye out for this week alongside of Caterpillar as well, but then also Shopify. But that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning, baby. Make sure your head is in the game. Balance the books. We got another week. I don't care what happened last week, whether you made money, lost money, Tesla did this, you lost this. Who cares? You got to move forward. Act like you've been there, baby. Show me what's in your hand. Tell me what you got. Keep the helmet polished. Show me some dedication, determination, and opportunity. Oh, they don't. It's game time, baby. I need you to go hard, baby. I need you to be there and just balance the books, baby. Let's let it come to us. We're not going to chase it, but we still going to get it, baby. The coach loves you. And remember, don't forget to stand up for somebody this month, baby. And I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.